Once locked away for unspeakable atrocities, this man was left abandoned in the sewers of the capital. As the Erd tree burned, however, his shackles came unfree, and after sustaining himself on the meat of other prisoners, the Butcher was born. But yes, what is happening, y'all? Welcome on back to another build. This is a strength build, the Butcher. Now this is a very straightforward build. We got a little theme here of some gross guy who used to eat corpses. Very simple build, very simple move set that involves lots of chopping because meat. But either way, let's talk about it. This is surprisingly effective, and it's actually a lot of fun to play. Super good in PvE, deceptively strong in PvP. Let's jump into it. We are at rune level 150, Vigor is at the soft cap of 60, Mind is at 16, that gives us just enough FP to get out 5 uses of our weapon art, and then a little bit left in the tank to get off some parries. Endurance at 25 for that medium roll, Strength all the way up at the soft cap of 80, Dexterity at 16 to meet weapon requirements on some of our backup weapons, Int is left down at base, Arcane at base, and then Faith, you could have at 10 to use the claw mark seal, but that's basically going to be left at base. So jumping on into the equipment, there's quite a few weapons that we're going to be working with, but the primary is the heavy iron cleaver. Now, out of all the axes, the iron cleaver, and I believe it's the celebrant axe, both of those have a unique charging heavy attack. This applies to both one-handed and two-handed attacks, where you're going to run on in and you're going to smash stuff. And the iron cleaver in particular, this just has better scaling than the celebrants, which is why I like it. But this thing is deceptively strong. I mean, two-handing it, we're at 693 AR, and this is on just a regular axe. So you add Royal Knight's Resolve on it, and you run at somebody and you hit them, and in most cases, somebody's going to die. Right there, you're going to hit somebody for 1600 damage. It's scary how much damage this hits for. As for our backups for securing the kill, we have a heavy thorned whip. You actually get a little bit more damage out of doing Hazo's whip, but I really liked the visual of this and I wanted to mix things up, so we went with that. And then of course we also have the claw mark seal with pocket sand. Both of those just good tools for securing the kill. In particular, if you're running the whip, just rolling and doing that quick R1, throwing it on out. It's just a great way to catch people, has really solid range on that, just boom, quick pop. And then of course, Bestial Sling needs no introduction. Just throwing out those pocket rocks, and I mean, it's going to secure a kill. If somebody's low enough and they're not dead, that's going to be what finishes them off. As for some other alternatives to the build, this actually started off as a flail build, and so we have access to the heavy chain link flail. Out of the various flails available, this one not only scales off strength, but it had the longest reach. Of course, it has bleed like all the other flails. You got to farm this off the pumpkin head enemies. But it's decent, and in PvE in particular, this does a fair amount of stagger, which I like, but I would not recommend using the flail in PvP. It's just, the moveset isn't that good. Besides that, I also have a heavy grave scythe. This is pretty much just to handle people that have great shields. As I've always said, you know, have what you need, have the tools to succeed. And then lastly, we have a light bow, because if people are going to keep spacing me, I'm just going to pop them with this thing and use barrage and fill them full of bleed arrows or sleep arrows or whatever. So anyway, moving on from there, shields, we have one shield with golden parry, one with carry and retaliation, pretty straightforward. Let's talk about the fashion, the octopus head. Now literally this was picked just because of how gross it looks. And then we also coupled it with the Omen armor, which we have used before, but I figure with the octopus head and the Omen armor, it kind of has like a Barnacle Boy type thing going on. And on top of that, it looks grotesque, which is what I wanted to achieve with this Butcher character. Moving down from there, of course, Erdtree's Favor +2, the Great Jar's Arsenal for weight, Green Turtle Talisman for our stamina, and then the Axe Talisman. Now, what makes the Axe Talisman so fantastic in a lineup like this is typically you wouldn't think about actually using this in PvP. But because our charge attack is going to run on in, that's going to catch a lot of people. And so more often than not, we're actually going to be picking up that bonus from the Axe Talisman. We're also going to be coupling that over here with our Flask of Wondrous Physic, using the Spiked Cracked tier to boost our charged attack power even further. As for the secondary mix, there's a couple things you could run with here. Leaden Hard tier gives you 10 seconds of basically infinite poise, which ensures that that chop is going to go off, but that's only going to be useful in duels. Of course, you could use Crimson World to shut down mages for 10 seconds. That's another good choice. And if all else fails, you could always just use like health regen or extra stamina. You know, there's lots of different things you could work into the flask, but you're definitely going to want the charged attack power boost. So I've been talking up this axe a lot, you know, like, hey man, heavy iron cleaver. Let's show you how hard this thing actually hits, because I couldn't believe it when I actually first did it. So this guy hasn't seen us. He's gonna get bonked. 2804. And that was to an unaware enemy, of course. So hard to really say, you know, how good that is. 2337 while he's aware of me. And 1297 on a non-Royal Knight's Resolve hit. That hurts. That is very, very strong. Now, as for the heavy chain link flail, this is going to be... We're going to get some really nice stagger out of this with the Flaming Strike, two-handing it. We're at 633, which isn't bad at all. And initially, I actually... This whole build was actually me using this flail in combination with a Great Shield. And that was kind of the whole... what the setup was going to be, but... I don't know, man. Flails are just, they're iffy. But as you can see, we did manage to get a stagger with it. Just pretty much smacking the enemy. We didn't do any heavy attacks or anything. And this will work better, I think, paired with a shield. Just having something so you can block and keep swinging away at it. But if you want to use a flail, I think this is going to be the best flail you're going to have access to. You know, the heavy chain link has the reach, it has the bleed, and it works pretty well. But just in general, flails are kind of poorly performing, which is why we ended up with this beautiful axe. But either way, let's go show y'all a little bit of PvE, because I did mention this is a PvE build, and that's for good reason. This thing does silly amounts of damage. And what I like is we see Royal Knight's Resolve used a lot with big damage setups, you know, things like the Greatsword, things like the Prelate's Hammer. You don't see it used on smaller weapons a lot. But because we can take advantage of the charge attack mechanics and the fact that this is going to run in and hit somebody, we end up hitting extremely hard. Ooh, thought I dodged that, I guess not. I don't know if we hit him right in the dick or whatever, but every now and again I've seen some really crazy hits on that guy. Like, look at these chunks. Would you ever expect to see this out of just a little axe? I'm like, yo, no, Blackblade Kindred, this guy does not mess around. This is a very, very strong gargoyle. As you can see, obviously doing massive amounts of damage. I mean, it's chunky. It's very chunky. And the crazy thing is, that's against a boss. If we were to go, I mean, I know we fought these guys back in the Beast video, but this is hilarious fighting against the beasts of Farum Azula, because they just instantly stagger. Like, beast. And then you get a free critical. So if you wanted, you could even pair this with something that's going to like restore health on crits, because you're going to get crits constantly. If you're not fighting something that's like those big ass dudes in the sewers or something like the Kindred, like you're just going to be like, oh, enemy bonk, oh, enemy bonk, oh, enemy bonk. Like, wait, just staggered. I've never had such an easy time killing these things before in my life. They're just falling down. And I think that's what I like so much about this, is, I mean, the charged moveset, it's nothing new, but the fact that we have the forward momentum on it is what makes this so dangerous. And on top of that, just the regular R1s on this, I mean, they come out really fast, the little just chop, you know, you're literally a butcher just cutting up stuff for meat. And so it does a fantastic job at it. And even then, I mean, you know, let's say you get bored of using this, we have 80 strength. You can take pretty much any weapon in the game that you can make heavy, and boom, you're going to be destroying stuff on this more than likely. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to use, you know, Axe Talisman and all that stuff. But yeah, this thing is super effective. So either way, let's do some duels. We'll also show off a little bit of the invasion type stuff, the unofficial fight clubs that we host, if you will, over in Liurnia, and let me know what y'all think. Alright, so we got a scythe on this dude. Oh. Meat. My little bonk stick beats your double bonk stick. See, boys, it's not about the size, it's all about how you use it. Morgott's curved. Look at that bubble. Meat. Oh my god. He had that fight in the bag and he just let himself get caught once. Can't mess with those chops. Oh, well, someone had to get me sooner or later. Meat. Should have spell parried his ass and just ended it early, but decided chopping was the way to go.
Hey! Hey!
Ooh. It's like Trade City ever since I lost to that one dude. Meat. 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 I don't know what that guy was doing. millennia. Meat. 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 Oh. Oh, the other one's coming behind him. We might wanna... Damn. Damn! Damn!
What is up with the fucking invaders today?
Bro! That man, he... Okay, damn.
And then he bows to you.
And then he bows to me.
He's like, no.
And then he leaves! What just happened?
What the fuck?
That was the single most amazing interaction that we've seen. Cirilla looks like yummy meat. Man has balls. I saw the buckler. Bury this, you filthy casual. Just getting straight to it, I guess. Meat. You gotta do more than spam flies, my guy. This guy's like a poison man. Not today. No sippy cups here. Oh, clip shoulder. Don't see that every day. And he's gone. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I mean, as y'all can see, either you chop somebody and they die, or you don't. But yeah, pretty simple build. Either way, we're going to wrap things up here. In terms of what to expect next, I had an idea for like a lightning dex build for a while, so that's probably going to be on deck. And then I'm also working on a bow build, but bow is, I don't know, I don't want to say gimmicky, it's just not very good, so it's going to take a while. But either way, thanks for tuning in. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll catch you next time.